Hey folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Friday, the 13th of December 2024, and in today's video I'm going to decipher for you Psalm 65, okay? Now Psalm 65 is actually an interesting one because it has some prophecies that are actually quite interesting, and I can't wait to talk about them and link them with other prophecies, especially verse 9. Now Psalm 65 is of course a Millennium Kingdom Psalm in these 13 verses, okay? Now, as always, I do have a program here, so I'm going to be offering my commentary regarding most of these verses. I think the only one that I left there is 4, because verse 4 is actually a very general verse or prophecy, if you like, and so I can just offer commentary for you as we look on that verse in a moment. Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of a scanning here for you folks, in case you want to rewind and look back later on this video, the program. So yeah, it's basically just 2 pages, folks. Okay, pardon me. So let's get into it, folks. All right. So what determines that Psalm 65 is actually a Millennial Kingdom prophecy? Well, actually, verse 1 lies the foundation immediately. Okay, it says here, "Price waiteth for thee, O God." Now, when can the Lord Jesus be prized? And Jesus is actually waiting for this price. This can only happen during the Millennial Kingdom. Okay, so price waiteth for thee, O God, when you come, for the Millennial Kingdom in Sion. Okay, in the Temple Mount, with the third temple, if you like. And unto thee shall the veil be performed. Waiteth and veil are very key words. Veil be performed, of course, is going to be everyone's going to bow their knees to Jesus, right? Because he's our Lord and Savior. He's God, the God of Israel, okay? So in verse 1 here, waiteth and veil are very key words, okay? Now, in my program here, I wrote down Psalm 65, which essentially is a Millennial Kingdom psalm, okay? So verse 1, for my commentary, I put down, price waiteth for thee, O God, in Zion, okay? So price is waiting for you, Jesus, when you come for the Millennial Kingdom in Zion, okay? In the third temple, if you like. And unto thee shall the veil be performed. Of course, everyone's going to bow their knees to Jesus. He's your God, the God of Israel. So this is what it means when it says here, unto thee shall the veil be performed. Everyone's going to bow their knees to Jesus, okay? So it's pretty straightforward, okay? So basically, Jesus' arrival for the Millennial Kingdom, if you like, price awaits Jesus, and people will bow to Jesus. Okay, that's why I underline here in the word waiteth and bow. Okay, so very straightforward, folks. Verse 2, although that hearest prayer, this is of course Jesus, or you that hearest prayer, unto thee shall all flesh come. This is quite interesting. We have to unpack this, because where it says, unto thee shall all flesh come, we have to remember that the all can be fulfilled by the following reasons. Now, remember that, when Jesus comes for the Millennial Kingdom, he's going to performing, the judgment of the nations, according to Joel chapter 3, verse 2, and also, the judgments of the ships and the nations, according to Matthew 25, verses 32 and 33, and also according to Revelation 14 and 16, generally speaking, okay? And so not all flesh, if you like, not all people are gonna be coming through into the Millennial Kingdom. And so this all then can be fulfilled in 2 parts. One, by all those nations or people that have made it through into the Millennial Kingdom. And number 2, of course, all the saints that are coming down with Jesus to rule with him, because all the saints are going to have, of course, glorified bodies, and they can turn the glorified bodies into the flesh form, if you like. And so this is how this all flesh come. Okay, now the all is going to be comprised of all those that made it into the Millennial Kingdom or through the Millennial Kingdom, plus all the saints. Okay, because like I said earlier, not everyone is going to be going through into the Millennial Kingdom. It's going to be a judgment according to Joel chapter 3 verse 2, according to Matthew 25 verses 32 and 33, the judgment of the ships and the goats. And generally speaking, in what you read in Revelation chapter 14 and also in chapter 16, okay? So this is what we have to kind of like unpack this all here, because it does have meaning, okay? Verse 3, iniquities prevail against me. As for our transgressions, you shall purge them away. Now, iniquities prevail against me. This is talking about the Jewish people, in other words, that yes, the Jewish people, those that make it through into the Millennium Kingdom. In other words, those that are in the land will be 1/3, okay, according to Zechariah. But then if you read Romans 11:26, okay, upon the arrival of Jesus is going to purge away the sins once and for all. Okay, so let us quickly go to Romans 11:26. I do apologize, I don't have a patch marker, mainly because I got all these markers here for other decipherings, other things that I'm looking at the moment to decipher there on the track. So Romans 11:26, try forward. Most Bible scholars know this. Okay, so Romans 11:26, and so all Israel shall be saved. Okay, those that made it through into the Millennium Kingdom. Okay, as it is written, they shall come out of Sion the deliverer, of course that's Jesus, and shall turn away ungodliness. Turn away ungodliness, meaning the purging away the sins from Jacob or from the Jewish people. Okay, so that ties into that. So then for verse 3, okay, just paraphrasing here, transgressions, thou shalt purge them away, okay, in other words, the sins, and that links it into Romans 11:26, okay. So verse 4 then is actually a general process, a prophecy, if you like. So I don't have it in my program because it's very general, but I'll just give you my commentary here anyway as we read it. Blessed is the man whom you choose it. So Jesus is going to bless people. Some people will go in because it says here, and cause us to approach unto this. So some people, some men, I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than one man, that Jesus is going to choose to approach, unto him, if you like, when he's there in the third temple, that he might dwell in thy courts. Okay. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, even of thy holy temple. So it is a general verse in context. So blessed is the man whom thou choosest. So there will be a man that God chooses and causes to approach unto thee. Doesn't say who that person is. Perhaps there could be more than one man. Perhaps maybe there is one. But I think that generally speaking, this has to be more than one man, that God is going to choose, to approach him, I think this is just generally speaking, it's talking about a man in singular, but there will be more than one. It's kind of like a double meaning, if you like. It's kind of like saying, hey, that person that you choose will be blessed, but in fact, it's actually talking about other people as well. It's written in the singular, if you like, but it has a meaning also in the plural. Because he's trying to in here, he's trying to make the singular very important. That those that are chosen by Jesus to approach him, they will be blessed. But it's highlighting the singular, but it's actually going to be plural. It has a double meaning for the plural in the future as well, I believe. Because there's going to be more than one man blessed. I'm pretty sure of that. So I think that this singular here actually has a double meaning for plural as well, because it wants to highlight the speciality of when that person is chosen by Jesus, he's going to be blessed. So it's using the singular, but I'm pretty sure it does have applications in the plural as well, meaning several people. Okay. We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house, of course. That's straightforward. People will be satisfied with Jesus, him ruling, of course, from the third temple, even of thy holy temple. Okay. Now, for verse 5, then, by terrible things in righteousness will thou answer us. This is quite interesting. We have to unpack this. By terrible things in righteousness will you answer us. What he's saying here is that when Jesus comes back for the Millennium Kingdom, he's going to perform terrible things in righteousness. And what are those terrible things? It's actually the judgment of the sheep and the goats, if you like. In Matthew 25, like I said earlier, verses 32 and 33, and also Joel chapter 3, verse 2, and also Revelation 14 and 16, generally speaking, okay? Because it then says, "Oh God of our salvation." So Jesus is going to save the Jewish people by performing these terrible things, which are the judgments, okay? What the confidence of all the ends of the earth, exactly by Jesus performing all these terrible things, or the judgments, if you like, okay? It will give confidence to all the people that are living around the world that, hey, Jesus will put evil away, if you know what I mean, okay? And of them that are far off upon the sea, okay? So I think he is trying to suggest that there will be people in ships, if you like, far away upon the sea. The fact that he's saying upon the sea is alluding that there will be people that are far away of Jerusalem, if you like, perhaps on ships or even far away islands. So for verse 5 then, just paraphrasing here, but terrible things in righteousness will thou answer us. Okay, so think of Jesus' judgment, like I said earlier, of the nations, Joel chapter 3, verse 2, Matthew 25, verses 32 and 33. And also, generally speaking, if you read Revelation 14 and 16, those big judgments, the sickle, if you like, the wine press, yeah, just as terrible judgments, if you like, those terrible things, like it says here, okay? So now, by his, verse 6, by his strength set us fast the mountains, being girded with power. Now, this is actually quite interesting to decipher, okay? Which by his strength set us fast the mountains. Which mountains is this verse here talking about being girded with power? I believe that this is to do with the splitting of the Mount of Olives, because of course being girded with power, that's Jesus. It's Jesus who's girded with power, okay? By his strength, the strength of Jesus, set us fast the mountains. That's the splitting of the Mount of Olives in my view, okay? Now, for my commentary here, I put in which by his or Jesus' strength set us fast the mountains, could what be the split in the Mount of Olives? Okay, see Zechariah chapter 14, verses 4 and 5 inclusive. I put here all, meaning 4 and 5, because it's talking about Jesus setting fast the mountains. So it has to include verses 4 and 5. It has to include this all, is verses 4 and 5. So let's quickly go to Zechariah chapter 14. Here we go, folks. Verses 4 and 5, okay? Zechariah 14, verses 4 and 5. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is about Jerusalem on the east. And the Mount of Olives shall live in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west, okay? And that shall be a great valley, and half of the mountains shall remove towards the north, and half over towards the south, okay? But then it also includes this, because the word says here, and you shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Asal. Yea, you shall flee, like as you fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. I believe that this is verse 4 and 5. It's actually part of this prophecy here, in which Jesus is going to set fast the mountains. It's this verse 4 and 5, but also it's going to be more than that. Okay, so aside from these verses here, 4 and 5 in Zechariah chapter 14, what's going to happen is that if you read Ezekiel 47, okay, sorry, Ezekiel 47, okay, tells you, gives you a bit more detail on this river that is going to reach the Dead Sea. Okay, and I believe that it ties into Ezekiel 47, especially verses 8 to 10, because look what it says. Then said he unto me, these waters issue out of towards the east country. This is what happens when you have that split of the Mount of Olives and go down into the desert, okay, and go into the sea. That's the Dead Sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed, okay. And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth, whithersoever the rivers shall come, shall live, and there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. So it's going to be a river when we get the split, in the Mount of Olives, and it's going to come up all the way to the Dead Sea, and you're going to get fish, living there, And what it says here, and it shall come to pass that the fishers shall stand upon it from En Gedi even unto El Eglaim. There shall be a place to spread forth nets. See, people are going to be fishing. The fish shall be according to their kinds. So it's going to be different varieties of fish. As the fish of the great sea exceeding many. Okay, many types of fish. It's going to be a lot exceeding many. So yeah, it does tie to all these prophecies, folks. Like this verse 6. Generally speaking, I put Zechariah 14 verses 4 and 5. All of it. But it also ties to, because when this happens, you're also going to see what's going to happen with Ezekiel chapter 47. Those verses 8 to 10, like I just showed you. So I put that generally speaking, but you could actually add Ezekiel 47. So anyway, that's that, folks. Let me just quickly turn the page in the program here so we can get moving. 17 minutes already. All right, verse 7. Um, which stilleth the noise of the seas, the noise of their wives, and the tumult of the people. Okay, so what's happening is that upon the arrival of Jesus for the Millennium Kingdom, okay, he's gonna still the noise of the seas. In other words, he's gonna bring peace, if you like, towards nature. So nature is gonna be peaceful, okay? It's a figure of speech. He's saying, which stilleth the noise of the seas, the noise of their wives, and the tumult of people. Okay, so there will be peace on earth, for people and nature, if you like, upon the arrival of Jesus. Okay, so for verse 7, I put it on my program. Coming people and nature. Jesus bringing peace to earth. Okay, verse 8. They also that dwell in the uttermost parts are afraid at thy token. Thou makest the goings of the morning and evening to rejoice. Okay, so basically what he's saying is that they also that dwell in the uttermost parts. Perhaps this is talking about people that are living far away from Jerusalem. Okay, those that are dwelling or living in the uttermost parts, or far away, if you like, from Jerusalem or from Jesus, if you like, are afraid at his power. But nonetheless, when Jesus arrives, he's gonna make everybody feel like, or even all these people that are afraid, he's gonna make them, rejoice and not be afraid anymore. Okay, that's what he's trying to say there. So in the program, I got down, even though some people are living far away from Jerusalem and are scared of Jesus, people will rejoice nonetheless, because Jesus will be there, and he's going to be offering the peace, to people, and also to nature as well, like it says on verse 7. Okay. Now, verse 9 is actually one of my favorites. It's actually very interesting. Look what it says here. Thou visitest the earth. Okay, so this is Jesus' second coming for the millennial, and water it. Okay, so yeah, he's going to water it. That's for sure. He's going to restore, um, you know, um, the world, if you like. For example, if you read Isaiah chapter 11, verse 7, where it says, the lion shall he stroll like the ox. And then also if you read Isaiah chapter 35, and other prophecies all around the Bible, which talks about the restoration of the earth, when Jesus comes back for the Millennium Kingdom, okay? And it says here, though greatly enriches with the river of God, okay? So that's interesting. You visited the earth and watereth. Okay, so generally speaking, this first verse here, up to the column here, is generally Jesus coming to the earth and restoring the earth, if you like, okay? And it says here, you gradually enrich it with the river of God. Now, what is this river of God, okay? Which is full of water. You prepare them corn when you have so provided for. I think, in my view, where it says you enriches with the river of God, I think this is the one related to the spreading of the Mount of Olives, which I actually talked about earlier, okay? So in my version here, where it says you visited the earth and water, Jesus has arrived for his millennial kingdom reign. The earth is transformed, nature is restored by Jesus, and the river of God, in my view, could well be talking about the split of the Mount of Olives, okay? And that's going to be making the river of God, okay? Because of course Jesus is going to be ruling through the third temple, okay, or by the third temple, okay, which goes to the Dead Sea. Now I just showed you recently the prophecies in Zechariah chapter 14, verses 4 and 5. What happens when the Mount of Olives is split, okay? And also I think it's actually working in conjunction with Ezekiel 47, verses 8 and 10, okay? Because if you go to Ezekiel 47, let's go back there again, okay? Just bear with me, folks. It talks about a river there, you know. Um, so head over to Ezekiel, okay? Ezekiel chapter 47. And if you come down to verses 8, which talks about what happens after the man of olives is split and so on. First, you got to read the Zechariah 14, verses 4 and 5, and then read this, okay? Then said he unto me, these waters issue out towards the east country and go down into the desert and into the Dead Sea, if you like, okay? Then on verse 9, it says, and it shall come to pass that everything that liveth which moveth, whithersoever the rivers shall come, shall live, and there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come thither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live, whither the river cometh, okay? So I think that the river of God is actually going to be this bit here, you know, in Ezekiel chapter 47, okay, verse 9, this river, okay. So I think that we can link this verse 9, if you like, this river of God, if you like, to that verse in Ezekiel 47, okay, like I just showed you now, okay, which is full of water. And it says here, you prepare them corn, okay, he's going to restore the land when you have so provided for it, okay. So for verse 9 then, where it says, you visited the earth and water is, Jesus has arrived for his millennial kingdom reign, the earth is transformed, nature is restored by Jesus, and this river of God, okay, I believe that has links to Zechariah chapter 14, verses 4 and 5, like I just showed you, the splitting of the Mount of Olives, and then that river, okay, spoken of in Ezekiel 47, verse 9, but generally speaking from 8 to 10, okay, so the river of God, who will be talking about the split of the Mount of Olives, uh, forming the river of God, which goes to the Dead Sea, Zechariah 14, verses 4 and 5, working, okay, working, very important. These prophecies in Zechariah are working in conjunction with Ezekiel 47, verses 8 to 10. But that river is actually mentioned in verse 9, okay? So, that's that, folks. Verse 10. Generally speaking, then, verses 10 to 13 is actually the restoration of the land of Israel, if you like, generally speaking. So, I didn't go verse by verse here. Basically, what I said here on verses 10 to 13 is the restoration of Israel. Example, see Isaiah chapter 11, verse 7. The lion shall eat straw like the ox. And then see Isaiah 35, which talks about the restoration of Israel, but there's way more prophecies than this, way more. Okay, so let's just read them anyway. You, Jesus, waterest the riches thereof abundantly. You settest the furrows thereof. You make it soft. With showers thou blessest the springing thereof. You crownest the year with thy goodness, and thy path drop fatness. They drop upon the pastures of the wilderness, and the little hills rejoice on every side. The pastures are clothed with flocks. Okay, so the mountains, it's going to be a lot of flocks, a lot of animals, if you like. The valleys are also covered with corn. There's going to be a lot of produce. They shout for joy and abundance of produce. They also sing. Okay, it's kind of like a figure of speech. It's going to be a lot of produce, a lot of flocks. It's a restoration of the land of Israel. A lot of rain, a lot of goodness, and things like that. Okay. So yeah, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.